and it is to educate and share historical leaders as well as current leaders that are doing great things in the world to make the world better, and to put some light on them and have people see that there is hope, and have people learn more about this month. Every single person in the world should learn more about Black History Month, because the more you know, the more you're able to have gratitude and learn that we need to be together, make this planet work. So I'd like to turn over to Dr. Roz, Dr. Smile, my sister, to give the prayer, and then we're going to go round robin so each of you get to meet and hear these leaders that help us. You can cut video.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Father God, in Jesus' name, we thank you for raising Black leaders of authority, courage, and knowledge for such a time as this. Clothe us with your wisdom, anchor us in integrity, and fill us.
When Carter G. Woodson started Black History
Ronell,
Week,
you can
and then 1976 when it started as Black History.
Dr. Ken, are you here?
Hi, hello everyone. Hello, Dr.
Hi,
Smile.
Yasmin.
And
We're
so
live.
we're
Can you
educating,
wait?
not
You're
just
live on YouTube.
Ourselves, but everybody else. I mean, we all can look at people as who they are, not judgmental, not preconceived notions. And so that's what's powerful. So again, thank you, each and every one of you for spearheading this. And thank you who are watching. And by the way, we need you to spread the message, let people know this is powerful, it's practical, and it's designed with your education and your empowerment in mind. So I close with this, and that is, they used to say that you're a product of your environment. And I was like, that's part right, but actually you're a product of your empowerment is what I say. And so we can change our empowerment by being part of this Black Hour of Power every day. By the way, Doc, the other day I was in tears just seeing people honoring other people that are so powerful. Unlike the crab in a bucket, one crab's trying to get out and they pull him back down. No, you're producing a reverse crab in a bucket. We're like saying, hey, Dr. Cassandra, you're doing good, but you could do even better. Go ahead, Tanisha, you got this, girl. Go ahead, Dr. Smile. Go ahead, Dr. Smiley. And so thank you again, and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And finally, I'd like to have the voice of our director of events, who has a very, very big shoes to fill. She does all these events. We have over 300 events in February, and I don't know how we do without her. The Smile Channel rejoices because of her smile and her spirit. Thank you, Tanisha.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Smiley, for this vision and allowing me to participate and be a part of the execution of it all. We're excited about so many people being illuminated in this month. There is such a great opportunity. And the wonderful thing is that you still have time to participate. You still have time to share about the leader, the Black leader that is influencing and impacting you. So make sure you go into the comments and click the link where you can sign up to be a part of this Bold Leaders of Authority, Courage, and Knowledge. It is going on every single day in February, every single day for just 1 hour for you to share about the leader you know, and 1 hour for you to learn about leaders that you have not even heard of yet. I've already been reminded of some people that I had forgotten about and been encouraged about some people that I was like, oh, I forgot they did that. Oh, I never heard of them. And so if you want to learn something new, if you want to be a part of someone else learning something new, then this is a great opportunity for you. And even more so, share it on your socials, share it on your email list. Listen, copy the link and put it in your email list and blast it out for Black History Month, because we want you to be a part. So we thank you for supporting, and we look forward to bigger and better.
Well, I have a surprise for the three of you, because there are so many people we can speak about. And this month it actually taught me a lot about how people are ticking, like how they're inspired. But gratitude is when you actually share how someone touched your life. And I want to share this because there are not enough days in the month for me to speak about the people I would like to speak. But if anyone would like this list of 200 amazing, inspiring leaders, I am going to be speaking about several of them, but this list is available to you. It gives you ideas of who you can speak about. And there are 200, and I will whip through this a little quicker here. And you can have this absolutely for free. And please nominate somebody who wants to speak about a leader if it's not you. Thank you very much, and welcome to Black History Month, Hour of Power. All right, we are about to have our host on.
Awesome. Wow. Welcome. We've been having just an amazing time learning some things, being reminded of some
Great evening to you all. My name is Russell Thomas, Hunting Consulting Firm, and I am looking forward to bringing each one of you all to the international stage. We have some very powerful people in this room today, and we want to say thank you, Dr. Ken Roshan, for providing us this opportunity to talk about not only the figures in history, but also how they inspired us. Today, I'm going to be talking about Dennis Biddle. Dennis Biddle is one of the few remaining survivors for the Negro League. It was established in 1920 and it disbanded in the late 60s. He is 89 years old, still living, and just want to talk to you all and tell you a little bit about him and what the impact that the league had for our country and around the globe. So his name, Dennis Biddle, is a name that resonates with perseverance, passion, and the love of the game of baseball. Dennis was a standout player in the Negro Leagues and one of its most extraordinary chapters in American history. He was born 24 June 1935 in Chicago. He grew up on the South Side, where his love for baseball blossomed early. As a young boy, he idolized the greats such as Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige, who broke barriers not only in baseball, but also in civil rights. Dennis's talent was undeniable. He was a pitcher, an outfielder, known for his speed and agility and his deep baseball IQ. At the age of 17, he was discovered by the Chicago American Giants, one of the most storied franchises in the Negro League. Imagine at 17 years old, stepping onto the diamond, knowing that you were a part of the legacy that defined a generation. But Dennis's story is not just about baseball. It is about resilience. After the Negro Leagues began to fade in the late 50s and early 60s, Dennis faced the reality of the challenges of the landscape. He had to navigate life outside of basketball like many talented players and encountered obstacles that went far beyond the field. Yet, he never lost his passion. He became a teacher, a mentor, a passionate advocate for preserving the history of the Negro Leagues. Dennis dedicated much of his life to educating younger generations. He gave talks, wrote about his experiences, and ensured that the legacy of the Negro League never faded from the collective memory. In a sense, he became a bridge, a living reminder of a time when talent soared despite the weight of segregation. Today, we're talking about Dennis not only as a player, but a pioneer. He reminds us that behind every stat, every home run, every catch, there's a human story, one that speaks of courage, determination, and the enduring spirit of a trailblazer. I think that he will be known as one of the best players. He was actually, when he came into the league, he was one of the youngest players to come into the league. And his story is truly inspirational, especially because he worked so hard to keep the legacy of the teams alive. And as I stated, he is 90 years old. He will be 90 years old this year. And as far as preservation, one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about in the Negro League, that they influence countries like Cuba, Venezuela, Spain, Portugal, Puerto Rico, help them understand the game of baseball as it was built a little faster, a little bit more aggressive, in order to have the talent that you have in the American League and the National League of baseball that you have today. So with that being said, I am so glad to be able to edify him as a pioneer, because we have to make our own mark on life. We have to be pioneers in what we do. One of the things that I have is a craft, not so much a job in the field of orthopedics. Did orthopedics for 35 years and was told, not me telling this, but somebody told me I did everything in the field. So when you're a pioneer and you do things that stand out, it is truly amazing what you can get accomplished and the people's lives that you can touch and make a difference in this world. I also have on, if you can see, I also have on an autographed shirt from Dennis B.L.A.C.K. So truly an amazing man. And I just wanted to bring him to the stage as far as history during this month. With that being said, I would like to introduce to you Yasmin Ye, excuse me.
Okay.
Once again, she has been on the stage earlier this month, and also she is very passionate about what she does through thought and truth. And then also she's an advocate and just a beautiful spirit in this world. So coming to the stage, our international stage, is Yasmin once again. Thank you, Yasmin, for being and get a chance to see you again. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy who you're talking about today.
Well, I'm actually talking about Maggie Lena Walker. I spoke about her last time as well, but I just want to be a little more descriptive this time since I'm going to be on here again. So I was speaking about her determination last time, but I want to get more in depth about who she is and how why it was such a big impact on my life as far as inspiring me to be the amazing woman that I am. So first I want to say you know, where she's from and her age, because I did not say that. So Magdalena Walker, she was born July the 15th, 1864. So she's a Cancer like me. And yeah, she she was an American business person and teacher. So she lived to be 70 years old. She began to get into Congress at the age of 14. So that right there just kind of give you a peep of how her upcoming was. So let me finish. So in 1903, Walker became both the first African American woman to charter a bank and the first African American woman to serve as a bank president. So she was the first woman in the United States to own a bank. And not only that, she was Black. There we go. And that's only one. And so as a leader, she achieved success with the vision to make tangible improvements in the way of a life for African Americans. Disabled by paralysis and a wheelchair user later in life, Walker also paved the way for people that are disabled, people with disabilities. So this has been her, she's always been an advocate as well. And, you know, using her determination to make things happen. Okay, so she's a bank founder. She was a teacher and a newspaper publisher. And again, she's from Richmond, Virginia. So yes. And as far as her being the first woman to own a bank in the United States, she's widely recognized as the first woman in the United States to charter and serve as the president. And then she also founded the St. Luke, the name of it is St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in Richmond. So yeah, she was the first woman to charter a bank and to serve as its president. There you go. Her bank was created to help African Americans gain financial independence during segregation and later merged into what became Consolidated Bank and Trust Company. So this bank that she created gave Black families access to banking as far as opening an account, getting home loans, starting business, and to build up their credit. This also gave, and this gave people financial tools they were often denied elsewhere, that part. And this also helped Black home ownership grow. And her bank provided mortgages to Black residents in Richmond, helping families buy homes and build generational wealth, something that was extremely difficult due to the time during the discrimination. Well, due to the discrimination, because the time is still going on now, but it's not as intense. Yeah. So not only that, the bank offered loans to Black entrepreneurs. This strengthened the local Black-owned businesses to keep money circulating within the community. That's a whole nother topic, but that is very important and so large, huge impact. And her bank promoted economic independence. Maggie Walker believed true freedom required financial power. Her famous message was, let us put our money together. Let us use our money. Let us put our money out usury among ourselves. Let us put our money out at usury among ourselves. That sounds better. She encouraged collective economic strength instead of relying on discriminatory systems. She didn't rely on discriminatory systems. Nice word. Her bank survived the Great Depression and later became part of the Consolidated Bank and Trust Company, one of the longest running Black-owned banks in the United States. Because of her leadership, Maggie Walker is remembered not just as a banking pioneer, but as a champion of Black economic empowerment. Now, you know, she's so amazing. now it makes you wonder, let's hear some things about her upcoming. Like, who are her parents? Who was able to raise this amazing lady? So her mom, who was also born in Richmond, she's an Irish American journalist. Well, her father was an Irish American journalist and a writer who was believed to have been her biological father. But let me tell you, he didn't raise her, but that's her biological father. Her mom married another man. Who his wife? Okay, her mom name is Elizabeth Draper. Here we are. Her mother was formerly enslaved, who worked as a laundress after the Civil War to support her family. And she was married to William Mitchell, which was Maggie L. Walker's stepfather. Maggie took the surname Mitchell during her childhood before later marrying Armstead Walker, and that's how she became Maggie L. Walker. Okay. Yep. So that's pretty much it about her parents. So that's just, yep, there we go. Yep. That's a good little brief description to give you an idea of where she comes from. So you see what I'm saying? She didn't have parents who were already in Congress or who was actually like holding her hand or wasn't placed in her lap. She literally was determined to bring change for the Black community and a lot of things as far as just equality and having opportunities for the ones who didn't. Just it's to the point whereas, okay, we're done with the notes. It's to the point whereas you couldn't help but I would say be inspired by her story at my young age because yeah, she's a woman. And when I was growing up, they would only talk about the achievements men made. And if it wasn't a Black man, it would be a white man. So it was like, oh wow, a woman, wow, she was this strong, she was this powerful, she was this determined. And she got started, she was serious. She started getting into Congress at 14. And her home, she has her own home in Jackson Ward of Richmond. And they had renovated it, and the parks, they have the park, it's at a park, and they still have it now as a historic, I would say, as a historic view. Like you can go and you can see it. And so it's to the point where as they have it separated, it's not really in a community with anyone, all the other houses or anything, but they use it as an historic view. And yeah, in Jackson Ward, from my knowledge, it's definitely in the ghetto, and it's a hard neighborhood. So you can just imagine. And she passed away in 1903. So, you know, it's not like too far back. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's my inspirational Black History Month power speech. And yeah, that's how I want to conclude it. So the last one I did was based off her determination. This one was just based more so off of her history and who she is and the other things that she accomplished other than being the first woman who opened a bank. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine, for giving us more insight on the history of banking and the history of her, and also being the first woman to open a bank as well. Truly phenomenal. And thank you once again, the team from the Perfect Publishing, for allowing us to be brought to the international stage so that we can talk about powerful people in history. The next person that I'm going to bring to the stage is Dr. Sanada Kamara. Dr. Sanada Kamara is a visionary guide, founder of the Temple, Mother Earth, devoted devoted to inner alchemy, ancestral wisdom, community healing, and embodied sovereignty through sacred practice, and ceremonies. I am looking forward to hearing who you're going to bring to the stage, Dr. Kamar. Was he? Well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So the next person that we're going to be bringing to the international stage is a person that I've known for a long time. And he is truly a pioneer in what he does in the city of Chicago. He's not only my Chicago brother, he is also married to one of my cousins. So he's born on the Chicago South Side. Ronell Brown is a minister, husband, father, grandfather, and Christian creator who blends art, literature, and faith. He was ordained at 22 years old. His writings and art inspires others to love deeply, live intentionally, and honor God. So one of the things is that I got to meet him for the first time just as I came home from the military, and he was actually dating my cousin, and they made such a good couple. They have two children, and two children together, and then he has another daughter, and all of them are phenomenal trailblazers. So it is truly amazing the things that they have done in Chicago and touched the lives of many, many people there. So with no further ado, Ronell, let's have you come on to the international stage.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, my cousin Russell, and thank you, Dr. Smiley, for the opportunity to be here on today. I want to talk to you about someone that inspires me as an author, and not only an author, but a Christian creative. And the reason I picked this particular person is because he reminded me so much of my own father, who also inspires me. If I go through my entire life, there's only two that really comes out, and one of which is my father, and the other is James Baldwin. And so I think about them because they both have this blend of conviction and courage. And so when I think about James Baldwin, he uh, uh, speaks to my father's character as well, a man who has raised 12 children, and in his lifetime, three strokes and two heart attacks, but he never let his inflictions limit his abilities. He always worked hard. He still preached. He still served the community. He still raised a family. And so when I think about him, I also think about his directness. He always stood for justice, and he said he always wanted to say what was right. And that's what I see in James Baldwin, not only him as a person, but him as an author. He was born in 1924 in New York City, and he died at the young age of 63 in 1987 in France. And James Baldwin, like my father, who was a preacher, James Baldwin preached too, but not only with his voice, he preached with his pen. He authored several novels and plays and essays and poems. Most familiar with some of you is the novel Go Tell It on the Mountain. And If Beale Street Can Talk was made into a film. Nobody Knows My Name, and my favorite, Notes of a Native Son. James Baldwin's writings was precise, it was direct, it was unflinching. And even in the in the 50s and the 60s, even in the midst of racial violence and cultural hostility and national denial, James Baldwin was a person who refused to be silenced. He used his writings to confront America with its contradictions. He named injustice without softening it, his words for comfort. He understood that truth, even when it's painful, is an act of moral responsibility. And so Baldwin did not write from bitterness alone. He wrote from a sense of urgency. He loved his country. He loved America. He loved it enough to challenge it. He believed that ignoring racial injustice was a spiritual corrosive, if you will. So he spoke plainly, he spoke courageously, and he spoke consistently. Where my father stood behind the pulpit, Baldwin stood behind the page. Different platforms, but the same backbone. Both my father and James Baldwin understood something essential, and that is that you do not wait for perfect conditions to fulfill your individual calling. So my father used to say, "When my health improves, then I will serve." And he always said that, but he served anyway. But Baldwin didn't say, "When America is ready, then I will speak." He acted anyway, and he wrote anyway, and he built anyway, and he spoke anyway. And my father built a household shaped by faith and perseverance. But Baldwin, he built a body of literature that still confronts and awakens. And even today, um, his recent documentary, "I'm Not Your Negro," he operated primarily within the national and global stage. Like my father, both lived intentionally. Um, Baldwin refused to let his limitations dictate his destiny, just like my father did not allow his physical limitations to dictate his. My father showed me how faith is not fragile, it's fortitude. And faith means that you keep walking when your body aches, you keep leading when resources shrink. Baldwin showed us that courage is not aggression, it's clarity. It's a willingness to articulate what's uncomfortable, those uncomfortable truths, in order to make transformation possible. Baldwin taught through examples. He taught through his essays and his novels across the nation. Both he and my father were both teachers, and here is what binds legacies together. They believe in responsibility. Both rejected complacency, both rejected excuses, both insisted that character matters, especially during that transitional and that influential and important debate that took place between James Baldwin and William Buckley. When Baldwin wrote with fearless directness, he did it in the face of hostility, and he communicated something equally powerful, that injustice is real, but it's not the ultimate. And so Baldwin faith says God had the final word. Baldwin truth says that we must deal honestly with the present word. And Baldwin life guided not only by faith, but unafraid facts. His life was anchored spiritually, yet engaged socially. His life was humble enough to admit the flaws and courageous enough to confront reality. And so the last thing that I thought about as far as that encouragement, Baldwin and my father chose not to be quiet during injustices. And one of the things that I keep with me is something that James Baldwin has said. And that's something that I think that everybody should really live by. He had made this statement and said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faith." So James Baldwin, in his writings, in his literature, in the voice that he had in the midst of a troubled time, helped to bring us where we are, where Dr. Martin Luther King marched, and where Malcolm X had preached. James Baldwin used his influence and his writings to promote and provoke change, even in our society. So I think he, as an author and a writer, I think he's an unsung hero, and he's a person that I would like to emulate, even in my writings, in my humble way. So that is who I want to highlight on today, and to put on our minds, just to think about and just to consider and go back and look at his writings and look at that debate and look at the conversation between he and Nikki Giovanni, especially when it talks about the Black male and female relationships. It's something remarkable in those conversations. So again, thank you for allowing me to talk about the person that influenced me the most as a Christian creative.
Thank you very much. You know, and once again, you have that great haircut, so I knew that you were going to be phenomenal on the international stage. Appreciate you talking about James Baldwin. And I think a lot of people don't know or did not understand him during the time of Malcolm X and also Martin Luther King. So I appreciate you tying all that into your lineage. And also, Yasmin, what we would like for you to do is come to the unmute yourself and come to the stage. And Ronell, you can actually stay here because we're going to talk just for a few moments before we bring our last speaker to come to the stage. But I just wanted to ask you all a question. How does being in this space, when you know that not only is it you get a chance to talk about history, but you are part of history, how does that make you feel?
Well, me?
Neither one of you. Ladies first, how's that?
Well, it makes me feel remarkable. When it's always, anytime where it's speaking about Black history or being Black, I just feel grateful to be a brown woman. And I just feel blessed for that. And you do have some people who are self-hated. They have self-hatred towards themselves because they're Black. And I don't understand it. But that is just really my main thing. I really feel good to be a part of the biggest history impact on the planet Earth. I feel like the influence that I've had has been able to help me grow a very strong appreciation for all people. Because at the same time, it's to the point where as everybody just want to be treated equal. Everybody really wants the same stuff. And yes, power can depreciate a lot of things and make things kind of like an egotistic greed thing. People want power too and respect. But overall, people just want that equal opportunity, love, and respect. And once you value yourself and really figure out who you are and live in your purpose, having power and craving power is not really a necessity unless you're lacking something. And it's like you're depending on having power. So yeah, I like this whole situation and just being appreciative of our Black inventors, our Black people in general, our ancestors, and appreciative of our white man, everybody. It's just we're all a people. And as how I was raised, Black people always make it comfortable for everybody, not just Black people. So that's what I mean by this big inspiration that I'm influenced by from Black people is the equality. So yeah, I feel good about being a part of history.
What about yourself, Ronell?
Well, I've been on this, I'm almost on this earth 60 years. So I don't know if I live long enough to make history, but, but I do appreciate the fact that um, we have such a rich heritage, a rich legacy. And there's so many other stories that we don't know, even within our own families. A history, a rich history within our own family. There used to be a day when I was growing up in our old neighborhoods. There used to be a time when we communicated, or our parents communicated just by sitting on the front porch, and they were talking to their neighbors, and you would get the history because most of them migrated from the South. So we'll get the stories about Mississippi. We'll get stories about Alabama and Arkansas. I've learned the civil rights stories concerning the civil rights way before documentaries like The Eyes on the Prize came out. Because we got all of that from our parents, and that I think that as far as maintaining that legacy and keeping it going, we have to get to the place to where we start to tell our own story. Because if we don't tell our own story, we leave it up to someone else to create the narrative. And so, if we can go back and recapture those things, the importance of telling our family history to our children and our children's children, that's scripture. One generation shall praise thy works to another. And if we get to the point to where we start, like any other ethnic group, how they tell their history, and if we don't tell our history, then we'll lose it. And look at what's happening now in this new administration that we have, to where they're trying to erase our history. And so it makes it even more important to tell our story more than ever, and to be a part of that particular process. It's not only an honor, but it's should be something that's expected of me, especially a Black man, especially a father, and most importantly, as a minister, when we have so many, even we, in the face of Christian nationalism and all of that we have going on, it's important be to stand, as my son and my daughter say, 10 toes down on what we believe, and speak truth to power. That's vitally important, as Black people, that I think that we should do. Yes, we want. It's not, and I had this discussion yesterday, as a matter of fact, where we talked about the civil rights movement, and what we really were looking for. And one of the comments that came out of that discussion was that we wasn't really looking so much to integrate. We just wanted, as the young lady said, we just wanted equity. You know, especially when it comes to education, we not necessarily wanted to integrate. We just wanted the monies that you were giving everybody else. So we wanted we not didn't necessarily want to sit at a lunch counter or shop at a particular store. We just wanted the opportunity to own our own. And so I think that is the legacy that we have to keep remembering, and that is the thing that the theme that we have to keep pushing to the next generation.
Yes, and I do agree with that, because once again, growing up in the 70s, remembering that in my neighborhood there was a grocery store, there was a place where you could get candy, there was a restaurant, all on the same block, owned by the same person, so that the community had a place to shop and get food and groceries. It had a place to, if you wanted to get, and you can remember this, Ronell, pita pockets, pizza puffs, so on and so forth, and then go to the candy store and play, arcade games, and be able to have that as well. And of course, then the unwritten rules that when you see somebody in our neighborhoods who are around our age that have gray in their hair,
Yeah.
and then their beards, although you and I don't have any hair at this point,
Right.
but to be able to respect them and to sit with them and learn the history,
Absolutely.
you know, because they would teach you a lot. There was a lot of wisdom there. And I think that in this day and age, that's one of the lost arts.
Yeah.
And also knowing that we had to be great in the, and I can use in the field of orthopedics, being able to bridge that gap um, between doctor and patient, because I learned with the residents from the University of Nebraska and was
Mm.
told, you know, we're going to teach you the same way. It's just that you're not going to have MD behind your name. And
Yeah.
I wanted to learn so that at this point, I can actually help people in our community understand uh, what they're getting as far as medical care, to be
Yeah.
able to bridge that gap. And that's one of the things that is real important, I think, in our communities, because the bottom line is that we're trying to take care of our communities.
That's it.
And we have to have those people who are, you know, subject matter experts.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're living history because either you've been doing this for a long period of time or you're learning how to do this in your case, Yasmin, for the future, to be able to bridge the gap, to be able to talk to people, to be able to understand them and help the younger generation understand the older generation, you know, the generations that are still around for us in order to hear that history and be able to translate it. So once again, very, very powerful. And we have to thank Ken Roshan once again for being able to provide this platform. He spoke on uh, Frederick Douglass on Abraham Lincoln's birthday, which,
Mm.
you know, and he tied it all in. And that was a truly um, inspirational day that we had. We have heard from other people throughout this process. And also, we're going to, as the month progresses, we are also looking at other powerful people being brought to the international stage so that we can understand and continue to build our community. And when we talk about building, we want to make sure that we want to make it better than what we found it.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody can agree that this is what we truly want to do as we're building our communities, is that we want to make it better than what we found it, not worse than what we were given. So we have a couple more minutes. Did you all have want to tell about yourself, how to reach, how they can reach you? Like, for example, they can reach me directly with my phone number 725-305-0025. That's the best way to reach me, or at Fun Team FT Consulting Firm at gmail.com. That's FT Consulting Firm at gmail.com. That's two ways to reach me. Go ahead.
Right.
Yasmin, tell them
And
about.
yep, and you can reach me on my socials. I have a social media platform with my business. I do fitness, health, and wellness. So yep, I study healthy life, different ways of life, or I could say I offer a healthy lifestyle options for people. And it is Yay Routine, YAYWAY Routine, ROUTINE. And this is on the Instagram platform. You can reach me on there, shoot me a DM. I do answer my DM. Yep.
All
And
right.
thank
What about yourself, Ronell?
Well, you can reach me on my page, at the reflection page. It's actually called Rooftop Reflection on Facebook. Just type in Rooftop Reflection and it takes you right there. And also, if you go to Amazon, the books are there. There's three that are out now. One of which is a poetry book, really designed for married couples, but it's out there. It's called Whispers from the Sacred Place. That was written in 2020 in the midst of COVID, no less. That it started off as a greeting card for my wife, just a small greeting card, one little poem, but I kept on writing, so it turned into a book. And there's another one, 90 Days Inward, and that's a 90-day daily devotional. You can pick that up as well. And my latest one is a children's book called Cecil's Moments. But the character in the book is Cecil Alvin Isaac George, and it's a tribute to my father, whose name is Johnny Cecil Brown, and my older brothers, Alvin, Isaac, and George, who have gone home before me. But it's my first children's book that's out, and I'm proud of it. Is got some pretty good reviews, so I'm happy with that. And also, being a Christian creative, I'm preparing for my first art show, and so I have several pieces, up until about 20 pieces that are going to be coming out pretty soon, and so I'm excited about that. We got a lot going on. So again, you can just go to Amazon, type in Ranell Brown, and everything comes up, or Rooftop Reflections on Facebook.
All right, thank you very much. So we have a gentleman who is CEO, chairman and founder of the nation only professional development football league. So the minor football league is known at the Laboratory of Changes. So he is the president and the CEO of the Minor Football League Foundation, and we shall see if he is here. And his name is Dr. Richard Miles Sr. So let's see if he's available so that we can bring him to the stage here. It's going to be just a moment. So once again, I want to thank Ken Roshan for making sure that we have a space to edify our history and also tell a little bit about ourselves. So while we're waiting, tell the audience something about you that they don't know, which can be funny, cannot be funny, so on and so forth.
Okay, something about myself that they don't know. I would say I love to eat.
Yep.
So as much as I, vouch for organic this, eat healthy this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat, but it's gonna be non-gluten and dairy free.
Okay.
I love to eat. I love to work out. Everybody knows I love to work out, but no one really knows that I find so much joy in eating.
And what about yourself, Ronell?
I don't know if I should mention it with a doctor on the line, but I something I don't know. So something I sleep. I've been doing this all my life. I only sleep 3 hours at night. I go to bed late, normally around 12, 1, and 3 hours is my limit. And then another thing, I like to. It annoys my wife, but I like process. I like to see process, and so I would if we're watching a movie and it's been out for a while, I'll Google it, read the entire plot, and put my phone down and still watch the entire movie and enjoy it. Or
Okay.
I would fast forward it to the last 15 minutes
Mhm.
and get the ending, then go back and look at the whole thing.
Right.
So,
And a little unknown fact about myself, I wanted to write for comedians. However, in May, I will make my comedic debut
wow.
courtesy of um, comedian Shane. He has been on HBO specials, so on and so forth. So he's doing his own special, and he's going to bring me to the comedic stage, which I was
Wow.
expecting and
Wow.
didn't want to do it, but I am going to do it. So, with that being
Wow.
said, Dr. Richards Miles Sr., how are you today?
I'm getting over a cold, but thank you for asking.
Okay. And I'm glad that you're here on the international stage and we get a chance to talk to you um, as far as who your person is and also how they inspired you. So I've edified you. I will edify you again. Is that you have created your own minor football league? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All
It's,
right.
it's the laboratory of change.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, and being a person who plays some football and then being in the military and you play a little bit of football, a little different, to say the least. Um, uh, want to hear a little bit more about it, and also the person that she has made a difference in your life through history. So I'm going to step away from the stage and let you um, tell about yourself. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to everybody that's on. I'm Dr. Richard Miles Sr. I'm the CEO, chairman, and founder of the Minor Football League. The Minor Football League is the laboratory of change. When I say the laboratory of change, we want to bring former players from the field to the front office. We also want players to understand what economic development is and generational wealth. It's a lot of money in sports nowadays, and I don't think people understand the significance of the trillions of dollars coming in. You do not want to play this game. It's ownership is the key to things. And what I wanted to do was I want people to understand they have an opportunity to own a minor professional developmental franchise and getting just moving back a little bit to what you said. Dr. Martin Luther King, I guess, was no doubt about it, been very instrumental and inspiration in my life because of the way he did it. He went about it non-violently. And a lot of times we tend to get emotional, and the first thing we do is we want to as opposed to thinking about things and the way he just the way he operated and the way he went about doing things in terms of okay, well, they don't want people of color to ride the bus, and we stop riding the bus. And when they realized that people of color was the ones who really financing the bus lines, and so I say that to say that this the way he did things was very um, something inspiration to me, and that what gave me the mindset that I have when I stopped playing football. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can. Um,
Okay.
so, um, with that being said, as far as how long has the foundation been in place?
Well, yeah, thank you for asking. The MFL is, 32 years for the league itself. And the foundation, we've been there like 2022, since I started the foundation. You know, I want to be, you know, um, impact in the community. I have, with our foundation, we have programs working with at-risk youth. And I'm going to change that because someone told me this, don't use that word at-risk youth or use at risk of being great. Our programs I designed: No Thugs, No Drugs, Early Youth Offenders Program, Conflict Resolution, Young Entrepreneur Program, A Way for a Day. So these programs give us an opportunity to enhance what the community doing as opposed to we just coming in to play football. And also give these young men an opportunity, and I want them to really understand that they still relevant. Uh, and I say that to say most of the time they'll feel if they don't make it to the not for long league that they're a bust, but that's not true. I tell guys all the time, it's not that you're not good enough to play in the NFL, it's not enough room. And think about that. It's not enough room. It's thousands of colleges around the country and 32 NFL teams. Now you do the math.
And so, with that being said, that is truly what we look at, and what has been ingrained into our community is that that's one of the few ways out instead of learning how to be excellent in everything that we do. And taking that and run with it. One of the good things is that in where we're at in society, because of AI, because of the internet, because of being able to learn more rapidly, and increase the learning capacity that we already have within us with these tools, we can actually be great on many different stages. So truly appreciate that you came and spoke. If everyone will turn back on their cameras, and we'll do a brief roundtable of what you thought about today's event. And then Dr. Roshan or one of the other people from Perfect Publishing will come to close us out.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
what did you think about this, Dr. Miles?
Um, I, I, I'm sorry. With me or for her?
For you.
When I think about in terms of the round table itself, or just the show.
The show that Dr. Smiley has been providing on many different platforms. I mean, the Authorathon, the Baldathon, the Smileathon, Women's Month next month, just many different platforms. Many different subjects. What do you think about the way that he provides us a forum, a space to become a community? To grow in our community. I shouldn't say become, to grow in our community.
Well, absolutely. I look at it as very informative, and the fact that I always say is strength in numbers. And it always say it's not what you know, it's who you know. More importantly, who knows you. And a lot of times we forget that. We all want access and opportunity. I mean, that's what life is all about. We want to be able to get in those rooms, and once we're in those rooms, to give us an opportunity to talk about what we're doing. And so I feel that I want to thank you for this forum and this show, because we need more of this. Because sometimes we tend to think that we know it all, and we don't. And it's sad to say, but more importantly, I think envy and jealousy is our downfall. And I say it all the time. People, we our own worst enemies as people of color. I mean, a lot of time people won't admit that, but it's true. Uh, I'm happy for any person of color doing anything they do that that's there to empower people of color, I'm all for it. And just like people always say, the Minority Football League, no, this is not the Negro Leagues now. This is the Minor Professional Developmental League. And sometimes, I have to always make sure I make sure they're clear on that. But this forum here is really something special, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, thank you very much. And Yasmin, if you will take about 30 seconds to a minute to tell us what you think about this this platform, seeing that we were on the platform together once a few days ago, about a week or so ago, and just let us know what you think.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm very appreciative, as I said, that Kim Roshan provided this opportunity for me to share for me to speak, to share my thoughts, and to just give me a platform to pretty much show my appreciation for Black History Month. So I really think that him allowing this to happen, it shows passion for him, passion that he has for helping others shine and providing a platform that produces value and a positive impact. That's what I get from this, as far as him having this platform and how it makes me feel, or how my judgment of him doing that, that's what that is. And yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be had. I feel like everyone should have some type of outlet that provides information, resources, or any type of anything, because everybody has something that you can learn from, everybody in the world. And it makes it special because it's during Black History Month, and it's important to involve yourself in any type of Black History Month activity or anything, because we do not want to let Black History Month fade. Like, even though it's Black History Month every month, because we all know we're the main focus, that it has always been the spotlight of everything in the world for centuries. It's always about us. So it's good that we get to have a month to speak about all of the accomplishments, and not just everything else about us, like all of the accomplishments we've done, the changes we've made, the everything, so it can go from any type of realm, any type of bracket. It doesn't have to just be Congress stuff or congregational stuff or discrimination stuff or just equality stuff, just inventors or musicians, like anything concerning Black people. Yes, it's so good to be able to have a month of celibacy to acknowledge those things.
Yeah, this is true. And then Ronell, if you will finish us out, and then I will say a couple of words, and then, looking forward to the next moment.
Well, thank you once again, Russell, for inviting me, and thank you, Dr. Smiley, and the entire staff for having me on. I really appreciate this type of forum because, as it was said before, you need the exposure. We have a legacy that runs rich and runs deep, and you don't know what you don't know. I'm enlightened by just the fact that I get to sit and hear a Dr. Miles, because I like football. so to know about the minor football league, that's something new, and that it was founded by a Black man. So that's history within itself, and I'm appreciative to be sitting here and listening and being a part of this entire conversation. We do need more of it. We do need to lift one another up, lift up arms, if you will, so that we can become stronger, a stronger community and a stronger people as a whole. not to become strong to become arrogant, but become strong so that we might be self-sufficient and help others. One of the things that I tell my children is that when you reach that level of success, however they define it for themselves, always remember to reach back and help someone else, because they didn't create their own scholarships. They didn't create the way that they made on their own. They had help, and so it's just prudent to go back and help someone else. So I appreciate the fact that this particular forum is helping to lift up others.
Right. And once again, I appreciate all of you all being on here. And when we talk about our history, it is living history, because we are constantly making history and making changes through the way that we view ourselves. So once again, Dr. Ken Smiley, thank you for the platform. I appreciate you all being on board today, that we were able to talk about not only what we do individually, but those people who influence us. And we look forward to the next moment that we are done. I mean, next moment that we are able to collaborate. So with that being said, you all take care and have a great night.
Thank you. You guys too.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. We have ended our live streaming in YouTube. And if you can share that link to your friends so they can check